Well, Priti Patel is the first senior British minister to come to India after Brexit. She's a powerful Conservative leader in the United Kingdom. Her visit comes at a time when so many questions are being asked, not just in the United Kingdom and Europe, but certainly around the world, on Brexit, what it actually means for the United Kingdom and so many countries around the world. Thank you very much for speaking to NDTV today. Now, I was reading a quote of yours recently where you said, "Above all, we can find our voice in the world again as a result of Brexit, a voice commensurate with the fifth biggest economy in the world, on earth." Your critics would say you're looking for a voice when you never really lost it. The United Kingdom is a very powerful country.
Well, of course, and we are now about to enter an era of new opportunities. And the point about our referendum in the United Kingdom, and this is a really important point, that it was a democratic mandate. The British public had their chance to vote in terms of the United Kingdom's relationship with the European Union. And let me just sort of emphasise this as well. It's the institutions of the European Union, not Europe.
Right.
And of course, they want to change in that relationship. So they want, fewer of the bureaucracies, the things that hold us back in terms of our ability to lean outwards in the world. And so we're now in this space where, of course, we can re-establish many of the relationships, enhance our voice, enhance our presence in a way in which, to a certain extent, had been only channeled through the institutions of the European Union.
But Ms. Patel, your critics would say that, that's rhetoric, and we've heard it for so many months now. What are the institutions within the European Union which are stopping you?
Well, a classic example, of course, is, and this was part of our campaign, our ability to strike trade arrangements and trade deals. That's a very, very tangible example for markets, developing economies, growing economies, who want to trade directly and have their trade arrangements with the United Kingdom. We now have the ability to do that, and actually it's not rhetoric at all. My Prime Minister has now created a brand new government department, a bespoke department, that will focus on the outward-looking place of Britain in the world, on trade and commerce, on business opportunities, in a way in which previously had to be negotiated around the table of the European Union. So we are optimistic. We've got a new era, obviously politically in terms of a new administration in the United Kingdom, but importantly as well, a new mandate. And of course that mandate is one that comes from the people that vote for politicians like myself, our government, to get on and do the job.
Scotland, you're talking about a mandate. You certainly didn't have a mandate for Brexit as far as Scotland is concerned. And there is talk now of another referendum in Scotland on their potential independence. Wouldn't that possibly affect the way we look, the entire world looks at the United Kingdom?
No, I don't think that's at all relevant. I really don't. And I think that is just characterising one aspect of the referendum result, if I may say so. We are the United Kingdom. Let me just emphasise that to your viewers. We are the United Kingdom. We are one nation with one voice and one government.
But Scotland doesn't agree with that voice, ma'am.
Well, 17.4 million people voted.
Yes.
And, let's be clear, we have to deliver for them while being the voice and the conscience of the 16 million, the others that voted in the other way. And of course, when it comes to Scotland, and I can say this as someone that isn't just a British politician, we have been a government that has delivered for Scotland and the Scottish people post their referendum as well. And so there are many laws, finances as well, a financial agreement in terms of supporting the Scottish Government on the delivery of a whole plank of policies now. So I think, again, you're just characterising one aspect of the referendum.
Okay. There is also a concern about minorities in the United Kingdom post-Brexit. There's a fear that, there would be an element of British isolationism. There are some in the Muslim community who feel that they might be affected by that. How would you address these concerns?
Well, I disagree with that entirely. I completely disagree with that. The United Kingdom is an open country, a tolerant country, and that is, in terms of life after the referendum, we are one nation as a government and we are one voice in government as well. So all communities are well represented.
And what about your policies on immigration? Would that see a dramatic change?
Well, of course, our policies on immigration are set. They are set as they were in our manifesto commitments. We had a general election last year. That general election, was based on a manifesto, a Conservative manifesto. We're a government that will continue to deliver that manifesto for the British people.
So the UK is not going to be a closed nation,
Absolutely not. I think if nothing else, let me just dispel this view certainly the proposition you're putting to me, but also for your viewers as well. Britain is an open, tolerated country and an economy. It always has been and will continue to be so. And with regards to the European referendum, the result has been declared. We are reshaping our relationship with the institutions of the European Union. We are not walking away from Europe. We are as positive and proactive and as outward looking as we always have been. We will have new opportunities through the government, through our new institutions, our new government departments. And actually, I would say to your viewers and to India and many other countries, including other Commonwealth countries as well, that there are new opportunities in terms of economic partnerships, economic development opportunities, new trade arrangements and new trade deals that we will be delighted to negotiate. In fact, my colleagues in government are already working on this agenda. And so we will be even more outward looking.
Sure.
We are a global nation and we will continue to be so.
I'll get to some of those points in a moment, but I just had one more question to ask you about Brexit. Do you expect the process to be fast?
Well, the process is a negotiated process. So that is a process that's being outlined by my government, by my Prime Minister.
It starts next year, right? The process of exit.
It's not the process of exit. If I may put this into the right context for you, this is the negotiation that takes place before you actually exit and go for Article 50. That is a negotiated process. My Prime Minister could not be any clearer. She has said already she will negotiate the best deal for the United Kingdom and then we will go for Article 50. So that is a process and that is one that she is leading and we are working across government to deliver that for the British people.
All right. Well, you're here in India now. Among the many things that the UK brings to the table in India, smart cities. And the idea behind smart cities, some of the technology, some of the skills that you can offer in some specific terms, what do you bring to the table with regard to what is a very important Indian policy?
Well, this is a crucial policy, obviously, for India, the Indian government, and for the population of India. As India grows, it expands, and the urbanization agenda is one that is hugely relevant, obviously, when it comes to modern India and the outward-looking India. The United Kingdom brings a vast range of opportunities and experience. So it's the depth and the quality of experience that matters here. My department today has made a commitment, I've met with the Minister today, in terms of speaking about technical assistance, which covers a range of areas, basically, from the ability to look at infrastructure development, transport, energy, but also the people-to-people side as well, putting the mechanics in, the nuts and bolts, that technical ability and experience. So working at a national level, yes, with the national government, but also cascading that out to the states, because of course that's where the change is happening, that's where the real opportunities will be. And of course the British government, as well as British expertise, honed or championed from the centre in particular, is developing at a very rapid pace. These are big developments and discussions that I'm having during the course of my visit, but of course that builds upon the visit that took place last November with Prime Minister Modi coming to the United Kingdom. And I wanted to talk
to you about that. Your equation with the Prime Minister, you've met him in the past, you've interacted with him. Could you tell us a little bit about how you see Prime Minister Modi as being an essential part of how you see our development at so many levels, economic, social, diplomatic, actually evolve?
Well, of course, he's been visionary in the way in which he has projected India on the international stage. And in his 2 years into office, he has been highly ambitious, and rightly so, for India and India's development. And certainly through the dialogues that I have had with him over a number of times over the last few years, he's been very clear in terms of his hopes, his vision and his aspiration as well for India and the Indian people, but also building and developing, cementing the partnership ties with countries like the United Kingdom, where our ties are strong. We have a 1.5 million Indian diaspora in the United Kingdom, and so we have much depth there. But of course, it's how we can have now that relationship, which is one of equal respect and partnership, but also expertise and ability to really support his vision for the future development of India.
All right, well, Preeti Patel, thank you so much for speaking to NDTV today. Preeti Patel in India on what the United Kingdom says is a very important visit. It's about development, it's about enhancing relationships, but it's also a visit that comes at a time when so many questions have been asked about Brexit and the future of the United Kingdom, and certainly the equation between India and the UK.